What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It is I, James, RedemptionAgency.com, Urban-Picker.com, 24 years selling full-time on eBay. And AI has ruined my processes. It's just totally destroyed the processes I have used for 20 plus years. But that's not a bad thing. All right. So, when I'm quiet, that's because my mind's just going, right? That's just for the past couple months, right? I've just been processing and trying to figure things out, because now that listing is not a problem, it's easier. Like in my reselling business, the reselling business as a whole, for me, my number one process that mattered the most was listing. Had no problem with sourcing product. Had no problems with space. My number one issue, my number one focus was listing. Every day I have to list, boom, boom, boom. And on certain days, I'm like, okay, I got to focus today. I've got to get 200 items listed. 8, 10 hours later, woohoo, I got 200 listed. Now I'm tired, I'm going to bed. So listing was always the number one problem, the number one process, the number one focus. However you want to view it, it was always the top dog. It's what mattered. It's what drove the business. It's what drove my business, right? If you don't list it, it's not going to sell. That was always the top tier focus. And doing that for 24 years, and then AI comes into the picture. So the last couple months have been a struggle for me. I will say it's been a struggle. Doing the same thing over and over and over, the same processes, the same setup for 24 years. It's been a struggle to adjust to AI. But I've been actively doing it. It's been a struggle just trying to find that new process. Because, like I said before, the number one, and I didn't realize this till this morning as I'm laying in bed, realizing I'm not going to be able to go back to sleep, so I'm going to get out of bed soon. I started really thinking things, and I go, you know what? 2 months of trying to figure this out, I realized the problem is the focus. The focus is no longer, I got to list these items. So if you don't know, I started a new project a couple of weeks ago or so, where I am starting a new organization project, renumbering my SKU systems to make it easier and quicker to pull, shrinking down my areas to make it quicker to pull items. And I started making all these changes in the thought process of, well, I can list more now, so I should be able to sell more now. So it means I'm going to have to pull more now. How can I speed up the pulling process when things sell? And so for the last 2 months, I'm just trying to tweak all of these different focus points of a business to streamline them better, to work differently. And then this morning, I realized what was number one is no longer number one. My number one focus of I need to list this stuff in order to run this business properly is no longer the number one issue. My number one issue now that has jumped listing is organization, is having the room, tweaking the system. That's my first and foremost focus. Now, you may think that that's nothing big, but for me it is. For a person who's always tried to do everything streamlined, processed in a certain way to get the most efficient use of my time, it's a huge thing, because when I'm listing now, my focus ain't just list this stuff as quick as you can. It's where's the stuff going to go? How can this stuff be integrated into my system, my basement? So that's got to be the number one focus for me here on out. And I think I have finally come to the end of my road with trying to change the process, I should say, with List Easier, with AI, and with the business. This is going to be I'm literally having to change my entire thought process. Now, I've always been, like I said, be able to focus on streamlining and getting the most efficiency out of everything. But looking at it in a different way and how it's going to be structured, that's something that's taking some time to mentally adjust to. Because here's why. Before, hopefully I can try to explain this so you can understand it, because it's in my head understanding it. So before, what mattered was how many items am I going to get listed today, and nothing else mattered. I'll figure out where they're going to go, whatever. But now the focus has to be, where are these items going to go? And not, I need to list these items, because the items are going to get listed, and they're going to get listed a lot quicker. So I don't have to worry about the listing process anymore. Like I said, just a side note, like List Easier and AI has taken all the draining mental part of reselling out of the picture. Thinking, what do I need to put in this title? How should I structure the title? What keywords should I use? I mean, it takes all that out of it. So there's no brain power being used there. And you're not drained by, I'm speaking for myself, not drained at the end of the day, because I've been focused so hard on trying to do things right, where the hardest part of it is now taken care of. So now the hardest part is, where are the items going to go? So I started a new project where I am reskewing everything. I'm going to be relisting everything with AI. Alex dropped something, I guess. I'm going to be relisting everything with AI. And I am making sure I fill in all my areas as I'm going to do it. Because here's the thing. Out of all the containers I have down here, all the shelving space I have down here, I've never been able to list enough to fill every space and have every space totally filled. Where now, I'll be able to catch up on that. Meaning there's going to be a point, something fell down the steps. There's going to be a point in time where every space is going to be filled. And I have to create the system that's going to make that the most efficient way to fill those spaces. Does that make sense? And that's where my struggle and head has been for ever since I started realizing, I can list 200 in a drop of a hat now. So what is this going to look like? And here's what I've come up with and how I'm going to structure. Now, I've tried every process across the book. As you know, if you watch some of my old videos where how I take pictures, just the whole streamlining process, basically. The how to list 200 items in a day. It's basically taking that video and blowing it up is what it's doing. So I have to change my focus to not list these items, but fill this box, fill that box, fill this spot, fill that spot, fill that spot. So that's my new focus. My new focus is not list, it's put 3 items here, put 4 items here, put 7 items here, put 8 items here, put 20 items there. That's my number one focus right now. So what is the best streamlined way of doing that? And that process is what I've been struggling with for the last 2 months. But now that I've put that as the number one focus, that means when I walk into my office, my whole mindset has to change. It's not, let's get in here and list. It's, let's find the space so I can put some stuff in it. That's the number one spot. Get the space, put the stuff in. Get the space, put the stuff in. Get the space, list. Get the space, list. Instead of list, put it in the space. List, put it in the space. List, put it in space. Get a space, fill it. List. Get a space, list. Hopefully that makes more sense there. I'm trying my best to explain it so you guys can understand where my head's coming from. So every day, and what I think I might do is just start a kind of a sheet, if you will, here. So when I'm pulling, I can put, okay, tub 69 is half empty. So then if I want to, today I want to list X amount of merchandise, where's my biggest hole to fill? Look at my paper, my biggest hole to fill is tub 69. Let's go grab that and fill it. So that's a new process there. And the biggest part of that process, I think, is going to be in the office area, the processing part of the whole business. And I believe the first step in every processing I'm going to have to do from now on is picture. As soon as it comes in, picture. As soon as it comes in, picture. As you know, I got all those cubes in my office. So I can have cubes dedicated to women's shoes, men's shoes, pants, women's jeans, breaking it all down basically. It's always kind of been like that, and it kind of is now, but it needs a little tweaking. So my first process is that, and then putting the photos in the corresponding folders. So I haven't come up with exactly the best way of doing the folders yet. If I just do it in the cube that it's in, and then, okay, I've got 3 women's shoes. I just took pictures of, it goes in there. I just took a picture of 5 jeans. It goes into the jeans spot. But then when I get over to the computer, we're, dragging those into a folder. Do I drag them into a folder that says women's shoes? Do I drag them into the folder that says cube 15? That's probably the way it's going to go. But then I just let that cube fill up. And every time I get women's shoes in, take the pictures, put them in that spot, put the pictures in that folder. When I get a full cube, well, let's get these things listed. Where can they go? And they don't even have to be a full cube. But, because here's another play on that. Because a full cube of shoes, I may not have in the future, I may not have no space to put a full cube of shoes down here. So my focus will be, okay, what box is on my list? Okay, tub 69, let's take that into my office. At this point, hopefully everything will be listed by AI already. If not, I'll probably take it down and list it, because I think I need to separate my SKU system project and my filling the box project. I think I need to make them 2 separate projects. and then the AI listing project part of the fill the box project. So I think I need to separate them all. So I think what I need to do is just run around and do my SKU projects with the quickness without touching anything, and then build from there. I think that might be the best thing to do, is to get everything renumbered, restructured, all the boxes, all the places, everything set up. And then I have that list that says, okay, you got a new box called Tub 143, and it's totally empty right now. Well, at the time it'll be B something in there. It won't be Tubs anymore. And it's totally empty now. So I got a full box to take upstairs. Okay, what goes in this box? And just pull off the shelf what I think will fit in that box. Well, how that will help in the future is when I've got every box totally full. Oh, I got a little bit of space in this box. What will fit here? Well, if I have everything that's in my office already pictured, I can go, oh, I could fit that stack of books in here. Let me go just pull these books out. The pictures are already there, running through list easier, put them in, done. You see what I'm saying there? Like, the whole process, the very first process is organization, filling spots. That's where the focus has to be. The focus no longer has to be on list these items. The focus has to be on fill these empty spots. And I've been working up to that realization, but this morning when I said it to myself, that's when everything just kind of clicked for me. I'm like, yes, that's how you got to look at it. You don't have a listing business anymore. Your listing's not your priority. Your priority is the best way to organize and to store your products. Now, if I had more room, I wouldn't have to worry about that, right? If I had another wing that was totally empty, I could just line it with a bunch of 50 boxes and just go, 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 go. But it's not where I am at. In the future, it will be, because hopefully with this organization project, and if I'm able to fill those spots quicker, then that's going to open up one of my storage areas, which I can turn into a listed area, and I'll have a whole room of empty boxes to start fresh in. So again, part of the organization project. So that's exactly the mindset I've got to get myself into. So organizing is first and foremost. Listing is no worries anymore. No worries at all. And I realized that over the past couple of months, because what's been the thing I've been doing the most? Making more space. Well, if that's the thing that I've been focusing on the most let's just call it last month, then we know that's the number one priority, the number one focus in my business today, not get these items listed. Because if I do this correctly, I'll finish here. If I do this correctly, it's not going to be, yay, I listed 200 items today, and like I said, 8-10 hours later, I'm like, I'm pooped, time for bed. It's going to be, I only listed 200 a day. But I cleaned the house. I worked on my organization project. I took the dogs for a walk, and I cooked dinner on top of that. But I only listed 200 a day. So going forward, my goal is to minimum 200 items listed a day and just build from that. So yesterday, I think I only got like 125 done. So now that I've got this new focus, I think today I'll push for the 2 plus the 75 on top of that to make up for yesterday. So I'll push for 275 today to get me back on track for the minimum of 200 a day, while I do all of my organizing at the same time, while I take the dogs for a walk, while I do whatever else I've got to do. Before, I could list 200 a day, but rarely got much else done. I may have vacuumed a little bit. I may have taken the dogs out front several times, but other days I have so much other stuff going on that I never make it to 200, or I don't push myself to 200. How about that? Because time-wise, it was draining and a lot of thought processes. I had to be in that right frame of mind, not to get distracted, where now I don't have to worry about any of that. It's just a breeze. A breeze. So that's my new focus. Where are the items going to go? Organization. That's the focus. That's number one. With that said, if you have not tried List Easier, please use my affiliate link below. You will not be disappointed. And you can do one-offs. I know some people out there saying you can't do one-offs very well. You can do one-offs very quickly. The more familiar you get with it, the more templates you get made. It's very quick to just do one-offs. And also, you're going to benefit by using AI to fill out everything for you, that it's going to sell quicker. AI, I was paging through YouTube this morning and somebody said AI is not going to help your items sell quicker. It does. AI helps your items sell quicker. I think somebody did the math for me on that one video where I scrolled through 240 items and I yelled out List Easier for every item that I remembered List Easier listed. And I think it was 20%. So out of my 240 items that day, was probably over a few days, 20% of those were listed with AI that went from 1 to 3 months old. So again, the newness of it may have a little to do with it also. So throw that asterisk in there. But 20% of that stuff was AI listed. So it does help. So even if you're doing one-offs, once you get going on it, it's going to pay for itself without a problem. And you're going to thank me like so many other people have thanked me and Josh and Dave that we turned you on to this, because I'm telling you, mentally, it's a whole new world, at least for me. All right. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you all in the next video.